Good morning, students. In today's video we're going to do what is called a pre-start check on the forklift, where we will be checking out all of the parts on the forklift prior to starting it up. The first thing we look at on the forklift is something we covered earlier on, which is our data plate. We check our data plate. Obviously we're checking our model number, which is Toyota, the model which is a 32-8FG18 with the serial number of 92774. We will then remove our logbook from behind the seat, and again just make sure that it is the logbook for the forklift we're using. So again, it's Toyota 32-8FG18, serial number 92774, with a mast vertical weight of 1400 kilos and a mast to maximum lift of 940 kilos. The first thing we will now start to check off after the data plates and the logbook is we will have a look underneath the forklift and see if there are any oil leaks. So we get down, we'll have a look. There are no oil leaks under the forklift. Now we will come to the front of the forklift. We always inspect the forklift from front to rear, moving around on a left to right hand basis. So we will look at our pins first, make sure they're in and secure on the carriage. We then look down our fork tines, making sure that our heels are not cracked and do not have any damage on them. Then checking along the forks to the tips to also make sure they are not cracked or damaged. We will then come up, we will check our backrest guard and make sure that it's secure and in place, while also checking our side shift cylinder to make sure that it's fine and not leaking. We next have a look at our mast, which, as we mentioned earlier, this is a 3-stage mast. We're checking our pulleys, our chains and our hydraulic lines for any damage, of which there is none. We then proceed to come round the side of the vehicle and we start looking at warning labels, which we have here. Here on the inside of the overhead guard, also along with our service label. As you can see, this forklift was last serviced on the 19th of the 8th of 24. We have a quick look at our lights to make sure they're not damaged, and we'll do more checking on those in a minute. We check our lift and ram cylinders to make sure they are not leaking and in good condition. We now come down to checking out our tyres. With our tyres, we run our finger across it, checking for even wear. We make sure there are no large chunks of rubber missing. We also check that the nuts are secure, and we'll give the tyre a kick to make sure it is correctly inflated. We're now going to come up, we're looking at our backrest guard and our footrest guard. Both of those are fine. We're now checking out our overhead guard. While we're checking out the overhead guard, we're just going to adjust our mirrors for later on. We now come down and proceed to look at the rear tyre. Again, we do the same thing, run our finger across it, check that there's no large chunks of rubber missing from the tyre and that it is inflated. We now come to our gas bottle and we're checking the date of the gas bottle, which on this particular case is 0121. Gas bottles have a shelf life of 10 years and need to be pressure tested every 10 years to make sure that they are still safe and correct. We now have a quick check of the back of the forklift to make sure that it doesn't have any damage to it, doesn't have any rusty areas or flaking paint, and have a quick look up at the top, checking out our indicators, brake lights and warning lights to make sure that they are not damaged in any way. We then move around to the other side of the forklift, and again we repeat the process of checking our tyres. We run our hand across to make sure there's even wear, no large chunks of rubber missing, check the nuts to make sure they're secure and that the tyre is inflated. We then come across, checking off our overhead guard again to make sure that's fine and stable. We now come to our last tyre where we do the same thing. We check it to make sure it has even wear There's no large chunks of rubber missing. The nuts are all on and secure, and the tyre is fully inflated. While we're around the side of the vehicle, we'll also just check the other warning signs to make sure they are there and are clear to read. The next thing we will check on the forklift is the seat belt. Make sure it's secure, and the seat adjusts forwards and backwards safely. We're now going to check under the bonnet, and to check under the bonnet we need to move the gas bottle around to the back, which will create a hazard. So we bring our gas bottle around to the back and now proceed round to check under the bonnet of the forklift. This particular forklift opens down here and we open it up. What we're now looking for on the forklift to check firstly is that our battery is corrosion free and secure. We will next check the engine oil to make sure that the forklift has enough oil in it, and it's so beautiful. McDonald's would love that for their chips. While we're here, we will check the air filter and now proceed around to the other side of the forklift to look at some other parts. Bearing in mind, make sure that we do not walk into the hazard created with the gas bottle currently where it is. We come back around to the forklift, we check our coolant levels, we check our hydraulic and levels, we also check the transmission level. We'll move back around to the forklift. Shut the bonnet down, move the seat back. We'll also check our brake levels. Now that we've checked our brake levels fine, we will secure the hazard of the gas bottle back into its locking location, like such. I'm Mike Rennie, thank you for watching and I hope you found this video educational.